Welcome to Paranormal Pulse. This is Cordell, and I have Dave from Scotland on. How's everybody doing today? And I have to say, how are you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Doing good.
Good. Dave's over in Scotland, and I'm here in Utah, in Sandy, Utah. Oh, hey, hi Emma. How you doing? Hopefully we're coming through. I just want to say this to the audience. These live broadcasts have been a little challenging at times. So we were doing a Facebook the last week, Dave, and we right in mid broadcast, the stream just died and we had to start all over. So hopefully that won't happen today. Now we will be Carrie's going to try to join here. She had their power outage. They had a power outage and they just got their power back on. So hopefully she'll join. And Emma, I hope you're doing great. You can ask any questions. So Dave, tonight, we'll be talking about the Brewery Lodge in Gold Hill. We did 2 investigations there. We got some photos, a couple videos. We got so much evidence from there. Dave, I just went through and picked out a bunch. I got like 25 queued up, just a variety of evidence that we caught. And uh, so the last week we did the miner's cabin, and we ended up being kind of disappointed. We really didn't capture much there, Dave. Um, and you spent 4 nights there and on one investigation and just really not much. Now, other people have reported it being very, very active. So, Dave, I wanted to point out that because we're not implying because we didn't capture anything or we captured all this stuff here at the Brewery Lodge, that isn't necessarily indicative of us saying, hey, the miner's cabin isn't active or anything, because other people capture stuff and that's valid. All we're doing is reporting on what we actually found and what
Yeah,
we
that's a
experienced.
that's a fair point, Cordell.
Yeah.
I think the place was prone to a lot of external influences, which if
Yeah.
you aren't careful, or if you're expectant, I think there is a good chance that you may kind of relate common everyday kind of sounds from the outside environment. A lot
Yeah.
of cars, traffic, hotel guests. You could put 2 and 2 together, come up with 5.
Yes. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. And so today, sorry, I keep saying tonight, and to let the audience know, we had an investigation last night. I got home, got to bed about 3:30 in the morning and woke up about 5. And so I'm a little toasty around the edges. Drank a bunch of coffee and here we are. And it was a fun time last night. Out in Nephi, Utah. So, Dave, how is Scotland anyway? Before we get started on the Brewery Lodge, how's things going there?
Yeah, extremely cold and locked down.
No
It's
no
yeah,
investigations planned for a while,
no,
and
yeah, everything. It's not worth it. Only essential travel only. If there's multiple people in one car, that's a 200 quid fine for
you're
each person.
kidding.
No, yeah, unless it's deemed to be essential travel.
Wow, man. Yeah,
It's been
we never
yeah,
went through that here.
yeah, it's been like this since the new year.
Wow, that sounds extreme, but I guess not, right?
Well, 100,000 deaths. It's
Yeah,
kind of a quarter of the US or whatever. Compared to the size it is, yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty bad. So yeah, everyone's locked down and just waiting for it all to end.
Well, yeah, and I'm really looking forward. And those that watch this broadcast, oh, I think Carrie's texting me here. Okay, she's trying to get on. I was kind of hoping she would join us here real soon. Anyway, yeah, what I'm looking forward to in further future broadcast, Dave, is some of the Scotland investigations, and Dave will try to go live on some of those, some of the UK investigations, some castles, and the Isle of the Dead.
Oh, that, yeah,
I, I still want to see that. There's some really cool places. And for those that don't know, Dave is in charge of Paranormal Pulse in the UK. He's the director there. I'm the director of the US. Carrie, who's trying to join us, is the deputy director. But so I'm really looking forward to the future, Dave, and hopefully you guys can get out soon and maybe within the year, and we'll have some live Scotland and UK and stuff. That'll be exciting.
yeah. I hope so. I
Yeah.
mean, failing that, I could always dig up some of the older investigations, just to show you the photographs, locations, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's so green and all the locks and just the history that goes back, thousands of years and the Romans. That's what interests me, the Roman history you guys have and it's just everywhere. You can't dig without digging up a part of history there. So, anyway, I don't want to. This is about the Brewery Lodge, but yeah, I'm real excited about that. Anyway, I'm hoping Carrie is going to join us here shortly. So, Dave, so we did two investigations at the Brewery Lodge,
We
uh,
did.
2015 and 2017, a total of 8 nights and nine days, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
roughly. We stayed 4 days each time, and we didn't expect anything. We'd never been there in 2015, and um, any new, I don't know about you, Dave, but any new location we go to, I have zero expectations. I always figure, well, we won't capture anything, nothing will happen.
yeah,
um, but we were pleasantly surprised by the Brewery Lodge, right?
yeah, yeah. I must admit it. It's kind of with any new investigation, you go in, um, and you try to kind of acclimatize to the sounds and the area, just so you could identify what's external, what could be explained or explainable. Um, and I think we've fairly quickly kind of sterilized the brewery lodge as best as we can, or as we could, I should say, for like kind of external sounds influences. I'm seeing the photographs here, Cordell.
Are you
Uh,
okay? Good.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. So I think the biggest thing for us, I know, the brewery lodge was the a lot of trees just around, which could, in wind, kind of rattle on the windows, rattle on the sides of the walls. But we had some very interesting visuals as well as kind of some great audio.
Yeah, and for those that are looking, in this picture I put on the live broadcast notice, this is the Brewery Lodge. Um, an interesting place. And then one thing I want to notice in this picture, Dave, you can see the air conditioning up on the top window. So it had like three of these, and when we had them on, it was so loud. They were so freaking loud. So majority of the time when we were investigating, we kept the air conditioning off, but it was so hot in there, we couldn't do it all the time. It was miserable. Must Without
Yeah,
the air conditioning, it was like 130 degrees.
especially for a Brit,
Yeah.
just not used to it.
So here's another shot, and there's this little shed here, and it was really nice though, and the place was kept up, and um, the accommodations were just fine. I mean, I really enjoyed staying there. And there's a side view. This is a little bedroom. Let me rephrase that, Dave. 2015, this was a bedroom. In 2017, when we came back, they had turned that into a supply room and they
Like a
closed it up.
storage room or something, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah, like a supply room or.
And this next photo is Carrie, her husband Bill, and this is Dave. And so when we got at Gold Hill, was the first thing we did? We went to the bar. And at the Gold Hill Hotel, and it was a nice little bar, and we had quite a few beers, I think. And there's Dory, and you can see that the date code's 2015. And I wanted to point this. Oh, but here's Carrie. Carrie's coming in. There's Carrie. Hey,
Hey,
hey, Carrie, how you doing? Got your power back on? And
it just came on. It was freezing cold. I've had not even been to bed. I'm on empty.
yeah, I was just telling him we had an investigation last night, and it was fun. I had a really good time. But I'm a little fried around the edges.
Um, I came home, jumped in the shower, soaking wet hair. As soon as I get out, power goes out. I was wrapped in like 5 blankets and freezing my butt off.
And
Just
also I wanted to mention for the audience, we do have lag. So occasionally we talk over each other. We don't mean to. It's just that we have lag on all our ends sometimes. So anyway, I was just showing the bar at the Brewery Lodge, Carrie, and there's you and your husband and Dory sitting at the bar. It was a fun little. Oh yeah, tell us what that is, Carrie.
This is a book of all the history. It's called Slippery Gulch, A Guide to Gold Hill, Nevada. There's only 2 books, and I have one of them. But it tells of all the history of Gold Hill and Silver City, but I don't know how that works. That's the Brewery Lodge, and it
Yeah.
gives the history of how it came to be. And
Now, Carrie, as we're going through this, so was the Brewery Lodge actually a brewery?
yes, it
Okay.
was the Schweiss family and various partners. Um, Yeah, if you give me a minute, I'll pull it. I'll tell you. It's one of several breweries in Gold Hill. First appeared in 1864 directory. Exactly when the brewery closed is not known. The entire structure, although vacant, does appear on a town plot as of 1907. Um, Unfortunately, no documents that would give some picture of the brewery methods used by this brewery have been found. Another Gold Hill brewery did give a listing of their products in an advertisement as manufacturer of ale, porter, and lager. Beer came in
Cool.
2 major categories. It
Well, that was my question though, was it because it's called the Brewery Lodge, and yeah, we knew it was a brewery, and it's
yeah.
where it stands, the house that is there that you can go and rent and per night or per week, I think.
It's 2 nights, but most of the breweries owned by the Germans and operated by D.H. Davis, a brewer from England.
There
So
you go.
Dave,
And Carrie, that's a great lead in to this point, is because Dave, okay, we went there, we set up our equipment and everything. For some reason, guys, Dave is from the UK. He's British. Dave had a lot of activity, more than I did. And Dave, you seemed to get a lot of responses, and we pondered whether it was because you were British and your accent. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, if you think of the investigations we did in the US, and the amount of European sounding EVPs we got, it's probably no surprise. I mean, it kind of depends what these things are we're picking up. But I suppose if there is any kind of intelligence there or whatever, then it would probably absolutely recognize the accent.
Yeah.
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 Well, sorry, I didn't mean cut
Go
in.
ahead.
The other interesting thing about the Brewery Lodge, and I had forgotten this too, is that from 1958 until 1983, it was used as a residence. It was someone's home. That wasn't part of the brewery. It was just a residence where they raised their family.
Cool. Well, real quick, guys. So I have this photo. This is the bathroom. The reason I left it on the bathroom here, and this is the second floor, because Dave, we had a lot of activity in this bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't feed into it, Dave.
Especially Bob. Actually, just so Bob has just sent us a text, and Bob's watching. He says,
Hi, Bob.
Well, Dave, hold on. Explain who Bob is and why Bob's important on this investigation.
Yeah, so Bob's my uncle, but he's also a member of the UK team. We've been on a number of investigations, and Bob used to come across. I said Tom. So Bob used to come across the US every year, and we used to go through all the different locations and what have you. But Bob, he came to the Brewery Lodge, and he did have a few kind of physical experience as well. So and I'm sure that I think he's going to come on next week as a guest, so he can tell all about it himself.
Okay. Well, the reason I brought up the bathrooms, and I know what it sounded like. Here's the bathroom. Hey, Bob, hey, Dave, we had a lot of activity. Yeah, we did. More ways than one. But
yeah, absolutely.
But we did have a lot of stuff happen in the bathroom, and we pondered, Carrie, whether that bathroom was originally a bathroom. I don't think it was, but I've never seen a original floor plan.
As it Cordell, if you think of it, the bathrooms would have probably been like outhouses or external. At some stage, it couldn't be. I mean, it depends how modern kind of Gold Hill was at the time, but I mean, if you think of it, the entire upstairs, when you look at the kind of the corridor, the landing, the small bedroom and the large bedroom, I mean, they all pretty much had activity of sorts.
Yeah,
upstairs, most of the big bedroom, I think.
And there's Dave. This is a picture of Dave. He seems real excited about something in the stairway. Anyway, this is the second floor stairway, by the way, and I apologize for this being a little out of focus. This is our base camp in the kitchen. So the first floor had a kitchen, a little dining area, which is where this is at. And then it had a big living room, bathroom, and a bedroom. Then the second floor, which consisted of 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And this is looking down to the staircase from the second floor. That's our condenser mic, which we had running on both investigations, guys. And so there's some of our cameras, CCTV camera setup, base camp, a lot of coffee. Those coffee mugs were always full in the kitchen. Anyway, let me stop sharing that real quick. So again, we're not here to let me back up, because the interesting thing, before we went to here, guys, Carrie and Dave, I went out and did a search, and there was a few YouTube post videos of the Brewery Lodge. I think I found like 2 or 3. To be honest with you, their audio is pretty bad, and there wasn't much evidence here. But within a day, we were picking up a lot of stuff. a lot of things. And Carrie, I'd like Carrie to tell the story about, because one of the claims that we knew about was the one of the bedrooms, there was a closet. And that was, and now here, let me lay it out though. So the first time we go there, that's the one claim we knew. This closet door supposedly opens and closes and all this. So we put a camera on it and didn't really have much happen. The second trip, Carrie, we went, they tore the closet out. It no
Yeah,
longer
it's no
existed,
longer
which
there.
I was really bummed that they did that, but it's gone now. But here's the interesting thing. Then I want to Carrie to kind of tell some of the stories she knows about it. Is Dave, we had a lot of sounds and audio of what sounded like doors opening and closing, dresser drawers opening, doorknobs turning, and but we never caught a door moving or closing or opening, but we caught the audio of it, and it sounds.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, sorry, Cordell. Yeah. It was kind of all the sounds of activity or habitation or whatever. You know, drawers opening, doors opening, closing, handles rattling, things like that. But we just never captured anything visually to indicate anything had moved at all.
And go ahead, Carrie. What do you know about some of that activity? Because I think
Well,
you were originally the one that told me about the closet door.
yeah, well, supposedly in that middle bedroom, in that closet, there were reports of a female that would come out from the closet or go back in the closet, close the door, open the door, um, so forth. Just speaking for that middle room right now. So when first time I ever went, I went through it with a group of people, and they were telling of the reports of how this happens, and that if you go in the closet, you're bound to hear this female and that, and they're swearing up and down to it. So I went in with another girl named Carrie and some other to go check out the other bedroom up there, and sent Billy in with a camera and audio just to do a basic, let's see what if the, kind of, I don't know, question it all as we do. Um, so he went into the closet, and this is more funny than anything at this point. He's in the closet, and two girls go in. They're sent into the bedroom to talk to this so apparent lady who's supposed to talk more to females than males, and they sent him in with audio and that, and they're talking about the closet. Well, Billy didn't know they were in there, and he's trying to get out of the closet, and he's shaking the handle, and the closet's stuck, and you could hear the girls starting to freak out, and then all of a sudden he yanks it open and comes, and talk about bloody murder. These girls scream, they scream, I have it all on video, bolted down those itty bitty stairs, and that was the end. But it wasn't intentionally done, but Billy was, and I went in the closet. It was just a little makeshift closet. Like we said, it wasn't originally a closet. And I understand why they took it out, because it's such a small room. So the claims were in that room, a female, and that the others were that downstairs in the kitchen, in that little room off, that you would see somebody walk past the windows at night. You could sit there and watch people walk out past the front windows on the porch and that. So it was the typical shadows and just reports of hearing people and footsteps and that type of stuff.
I do want to add, because you just hit on something, Carrie, because one night, it was our last night there in 2015. Me, Dory, and Dave, it's like 2 in the morning, Dave, and I think you remember this. So we're having a beer. I think we were drinking a beer, and I saw out of the kitchen window somebody move by. And so I get up and I go outside to see who there was there, because I saw somebody, and I go out there, and the first thing I realized is the window was high enough that there could not have been anybody walking by at the height I saw him in the window.
Not
And
in the front, but around the side. And
well, no, this was the front. This
yeah,
was
well, the front past the kitchen is level where you could see someone go by, but from the main family room porch, unless they're on the porch.
no, this was on the kitchen side, but I saw them. They were over halfway up the window, and there's no way. There's no way that could have been. But you remember that, Dave?
Yeah, actually, Cordell, it was like a thick rose bush as well, pressed against the window.
Mhm.
You couldn't even get between. I think
Yeah,
that's what kind of because we went straight out, um, and I noticed very quickly that it would be very difficult to get through there. But
yeah.
it's like most things. I think what I've been looking at. I think upstairs the majority of EVPs we got in. I mean, I could be wrong, but was mainly from the bathroom area and the big room. I
The
don't think
master
did we
bed.
capture any EVPs from. Yeah, did we capture any EVPs from the small one?
No, I was going to bring that up.
So
The
that was
bedroom.
more just kind. Yeah,
Yeah, the bedroom with the closet
yeah,
Carrie was talking about. We didn't really capture anything in that room, and that's the room I slept in a couple nights. But the main activity was in the
same.
hallway, the bathroom, and the bedroom. And here is the master bedroom, at least part of it. It's looking out the door, and that's where you slept, right, Dave?
Yeah, I think the first time we kind of chopped and changed, didn't we? I think out of I think I slept in the small bedroom 2015, and I think I slept in it 2017. I mean, nothing happened really. I mean, I did wake up completely naked both times, but I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was just the heat. Um, but
No comment.
just in case anyone else encounters that, they can check that off. But no, I think it was just very hot in there. There was like a swamp cooler, which you couldn't have on, otherwise it interfered with the audio. So it was just so hot in that room. But there wasn't anything. There wasn't any feelings. There wasn't anything like that at all in that room, except for one of the 2017 events when something kind of came out of that room, and I suppose we'll discuss that later.
Yeah, this is the entrance to the master bedroom. And for those that are watching, this is infrared. It's a infrared photo camera. And the reason I'm showing this, Dave, is you had a lot of activity right at this door. We captured several EVPs right here. Um, and
Yeah,
uh, can you go ahead?
yes. I mean, I could tell you what happened. That was in 2017, and it was kind of. I went upstairs while yourself and Bob were in base camp, and I remember it was like a sequence of events. I thought a bird had gotten in to the master bedroom
Yeah,
because
right.
I saw like a dull white thing fly above the doorway, and I mean, it could have been, it was dark. It could have been just a kind of an illusion or whatever, but that's what I saw. And I remember I started hearing like a heavy breathing, and you heard it from base camp, because you asked if it was me, and I told you that it wasn't, but I could hear it. And then out of the doorway, that doorway there, there was such a phenomenal, like, kind of oppressive, and I'm not prone to this kind of thing, right? It's but the hairs suddenly get up on the back of the neck, and I felt that something was very, we'll say, very angry, standing in that doorway. It would. The feeling was very tangible, and if I hadn't known better, I would have thought someone was actually standing there. And like I said, that's probably never happened to me before.
No, Dave, and I need
Go ahead, but
I need to. Well, yeah, I need to say this is that I want to emphasize, and Carrie will also testify this. Dave isn't prone to like, I can't stay in this area, I got to leave, etc. But that's what happened to you. And it was the first time I ever heard you. I was down listening on the high condenser mic, and you just said, gotta, I gotta leave. I gotta come down. And I never heard you do that before. So whatever you were going through up there, it must have been intense. And it was. And again, this goes back to, you got this British accent. You had a lot of stuff happen in 2017 on that investigation.
Actually, I think at the time I was doing an EVP session, and I think it was about that. It was about the area. It was about the kind of, where the English gentleman was from and things like that.
So real quick, just mark throughout the history that it states the brewery lodging house has been too altered over time to offer insight into its original construction.
Cool, because we walked through there, and it's like you could tell it's like that bathroom we were talking on the second floor. Not only did it not look like originally a bathroom, our gut feeling was, and I think you even mentioned it in 2015, Carrie, that this most likely was a bedroom. What was that bathroom was most likely, and we had a lot of activity. Now, the one thing I will say, guys, is that bathroom on the second floor, if it really was a bedroom, that's where the only female we captured. We kept hearing and capturing a female voice from the bathroom, which we did make jokes about. Oh, we got to go shower, the next day we go in and shower and use the bathroom and stuff. But so I suspect it was a bedroom up there. Anyway, so the photo I'm showing right now is the front room, or what's now the front room, looking to the stairs. And again, this is an infrared photo camera. There was some activity right down here by the stairs. I don't know if you guys
the
can
bottom
see
of the stairs.
Yeah. And we occasionally would hear what we thought was somebody on the stairs. We didn't capture anything on CCTV. Oh, by the way, I want to mention too, guys, if you want to go rent this place, again, we haven't been there for 3 years plus, but they were renting it out for weddings and different events
It's a
too.
2-night affair now. Yeah, rent it 2 nights.
Is it? Because a couple years ago, Gold Hill, the saloon and all the lodging, like the Brewery Lodge, Miners Cabin, was all up for sale, and I don't know what happened, Carrie, to it. There's the kitchen, by the way. I just want to go through these photos, and I'm going to bring up some video here in just a second.
Now you have to understand too that not only the Gold Hill and the Brewery Lodge, or what's left of it, but you also had the Rolfe house, which was brought down, the little house next to it, which is the Bullion house. And I think the McDonald's lived in it and raised something like 8 kids or something in this little house that was really small for just two of us, but it's adjacent to um, the front of the brewery lodge. So when we were staying there, we were watching the brewery lodge and going up to it and you would see a light, then you'd see it go off. And it was just like as if we lost date, as if just someone was in there going about doing their stuff. But I think the outside to me was just as held just as much as what the inside did.
No, and that's a fair thing. And we're getting a lot of lag, guys. Dave, are you back? We lost you, Dave. Are you back? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, can you
Yeah.
hear us?
Yeah, there's just lag, so we'll have to be
Yeah.
careful and try not to step on each other. So I hear your voice, then I see your mouth moving. Of course, it is the UK. You're still on 56K modems, right? You're about like
Yeah,
1995.
especially up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking. Okay, guys, and thanks for that info, Carrie. To let the people that view this, Carrie is also our historian, and she manages our clients, and she also does historical research. So I always default to Carrie far as anything historical, and she has a plethora of information on most locations. So just an FYI. So now the video, hopefully you guys can see that. This this isn't anything paranormal, but I wanted to show it just because it makes me laugh every time, because this happens more times than people realize. So I'm going to show it full screen. And Dave and Carrie, to let the audience know too, Dave and Carrie, we don't go through and script this. We just put this together literally 30 minutes before we go live.
If
And
that.
yeah, if that. Today, it was literally like 30 minutes. I'm scrambling to get some video and audio because of the investigation yesterday. But no, that's a normal thing, and I don't want to script this. I don't want this to. So, you know, this isn't going to be polished. Our presentations, it's just raw and who we are, and we're just going to display stuff and we'll let the conversation go where it will. I have no idea what we're even going to talk about sometimes. So anyway, that's my little spill on that. So I'm going to play this video, and like I said, it makes me laugh because we run into this all the time. So this is the master bedroom, Dave, with one of our CCTV cameras, and this is where you slept. So I'm playing it now. What is that, Dave?
I'll tell you when the feed catches up.
Oh yeah, there's a lag. Sorry. Let me play it again. So,
Oh, that's right. That was a spider and a web which had made home across the camera, hadn't it?
yeah. So, and that's why it makes me laugh, because every other investigation we use CCTV. The what? No, and it makes me laugh because I think, okay, I just set that camera up. Where in the hell was that spider when I was setting the camera up? Anyway, I'm gonna do a repeat on these. So let's see. So anyway, so I wanted to show that. This next video, Carrie and Dave, I know we're having lag. So, but I'd like both of you. I'm going to set this next video up. I want to get back to here. Okay, thank you. So be mindful there's lag. So you guys will maybe give hand signals when you're done talking or something, or when you want to interject, because there's some severe lag going on. So this next video I'm going to show, I want you two to talk about this. because what I'm going to show you happens all the time, and you see it on the TV shows. And some people believe this is paranormal. Some people will say, no, this is not paranormal. So I want you two to give your opinion of it. And this is on the first floor bedroom, which is now a storage room. At least it was in 2017. I slept in this room. Carrie, I know how she feels about it, but I kind of want you guys, because I'm going to go get some Excedrin because I'm suffering some brain lag myself from last night's investigation. So I'm going to set off this video.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I just want to say hi, Emma.
Yeah. Hi, Emma. Yeah. She, glad to have anybody listening, and please ask any question. We'll try to answer it. Any type of comment. There is no dumb questions or anything, and we're here to answer them. So, okay, here's this video. So let's start with Dave first. And then when Dave's done talking about this next video from the Brewery Lodge, then I'll let Carrie. And the reason, guys, Carrie has seen this many times. And
I know which one.
yeah.
I'll just let Dave talk because
Well, no, we want to hear it because I think it's important to show these and get the investigators' perspective of this, because you see this all the time, and people, there's a lot of people say, "Oh, that is paranormal," or 100% it isn't. So I'd like you guys' opinion. So anyway, this was downstairs in the other bedroom, and I'll play it right now. I'm going to go get some Excedrin. I'll be right back. Oops.
So, Dave, I've talked about this video. If it's the one I think it is, for a whole podcast. Mine's not going to change, but I really want to hear what you say about it and see how that compares what everybody else has said about it. That.
Carrie, I mean, I'm not a big supporter and fan of these orbs, right? For me, it's dust, it's insects. There is absolutely no way that this type of phenomenon is paranormal. That's how
And that's
strongly
what
I feel about it. There's only once ever that it was myself and Bob on an investigation in Wyoming.
Yeah.
There's only once ever that I've seen something with our eyes about that big, and it was walking up the stairs as if it, so. But this is dust, or it's an effect with whether it's insects, just the IR shining off it. Yeah, it's and you know what? I see so much of this in photographs and on other videos, and it's what are they saying? It's the kind of newborn spirits and all that stuff. No, absolutely not. I've been investigating since '83, and I've never ever come across anything that can't be explained as just normal fluff, dust, whatever.
Yeah, and that's
my view.
whole.
And sorry,
I love it because this was the whole debate that we had on this night, and I said I absolutely do not believe that this is anything paranormal. I think it is play from dust to how the windows and everything was in there, that it could just simply be headlight light, anything just hitting at that right time. But people are saying, and Cordell, he thinks it might be, or he was saying, because they're like next to each other traveling, and it could be a piece of hair that's floating and it's hitting, or it's just coincidence. So I myself do not feel that is anything paranormal. but that was the whole debate.
No, honestly, Carrie and Harrison, just for the audience, I mean, I don't want to kind of, everyone believes their own thing, right?
Yeah.
Just my belief, and a strong belief from a technical perspective, having investigated so many times, to me, this kind of phenomenon is dust or insects or something like that. It's explainable. But everyone can believe their own thing. Huh? It's but yeah, go on.
I'm hand in hand with you on that, Dave.
Yeah,
it's just I've never, if there's been anything, it's just dust, bugs, reflections, not paranormal. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
It's
no, and my conclusion is that it's interesting, but we would never rank this as paranormal. And the reason I show it is because you see it all the time. You see it in videos, and
Thanks,
people
Bob.
are torn. Hey, Robert,
Bob.
how's it going?
Bob. Yeah, I mean, you see this, and that's the key word, Cordell. It's just this phenomenon that people are claiming, and it's an unknown, so they're attaching things to it. Or 10 years ago, when every orb was a spirit or something, and then over time people have just accepted it. I hate to say it, no one has gone and researched anything about how little bursts and all this other stuff. They just have, through the years, from other teams or other people, are it's an orb. It's definitely, this is paranormal, and it's a bandwagon, if you ask me.
Well, here's the thing, guys.
Actually, Carrie.
Well, let me just say this.
Sorry,
here's the big red. Yeah, and that's why if you're going to comment, raise your hand, because we have such a lag going on, Dave and Carrie. But no, I have to add this. Here's the big red flag. Where these two things are coming from is French doors. And so there's an airflow coming from those French doors. There's curtains on them. No offense to the people that own this place, but I don't think they went around every week and dusted. And the curtains are there. You have airflow. They're coming directly from those French doors. And so most likely it's just particles floating off of the curtains. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, Cordell. Yeah, so I used to be a member of an organization based in Cambridge. I'm not sure. Can I mention the name or?
Oh, yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
So it was an organization called the SPR, Society for Psychical Research. I think it was like 1882, something like that, when it was kicked off. And they did a lot of technical review on this phenomenon from memory. We used to receive the papers, the technical papers, and I'm sure that the outcome of that, they used to track distances with the IR and what have you, and I think they also concluded scientifically that it is not paranormal.
Well, I would agree, and like I said, the big red flag is where they're coming from, and at the best you could ever do is just say it's an unknown, but most likely it is dust or small particles. But I think it's a great video to emphasize the point of what your cameras can capture with and they're so highly reflective with the IR light that, well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Cordell, also, I think if people are or on an investigation, the expectations are high. People want to see things, and people want to feel justification for that time and effort, and I think that's why a lot of people jump on this as possibly being unexplainable, because it does kind of validate or kind of the time they've spent there. I think,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
why I
let's
think
jump
people
in.
would jump on the back.
I did a whole, like 12 years ago, a whole thing on orbs and how scientifically and all this stuff, which we have posted. I have it here, which really explains it all in layman's term for people.
Yeah.
Scientific studies and that. But my question is, Cordell, when did your opinion change on that?
Well, no, it's never changed. I always label it as an unknown.
Yeah, but
because
you fought me tooth and nail on the other podcast that about United French doors and all that.
No. I totally agree with that. And if you go back and listen to the broadcast, I labeled it as an unknown. And here's the problem is that there's a lot of things like this that occur on an investigation. A light, even voices, and did they come from outside? Did they come from inside? And there's a lot of times that it's always better to fall on the side of unknown, that we can't label it as paranormal because there's too many variables involved. And again, I like the video. I 100% like it. I think it's a good one to show, because in our Facebook broadcast we showed it, and it was like there was people from the audience that said 100% that's a spirit. And then there was other ones that 100% no, that's dust, that's bugs, that's whatever. So it brings up a good discussion, because some people are like 100% convinced, oh, that's two spirits, in love and on their wedding night flying through the bedroom, right? So that was a joke, guys. So it brings up passions for people, because people want to believe that everything they experience is paranormal, and it's just not. And the point being is, this is the last thing I'll say on it, is there is certain things that happen that we can never be 100% sure of. And there's a lot of things that we just have to label as, that's an unknown. We can't call it paranormal. And we can't, unless we went back and tried to debunk it and shake the curtain or something, till we do that, to totally debunk it, to me, it's just an unknown. There's my little speech. But let's get into some audio, guys. I'm going to play some audio here. I'm just using Audacity to play it, because it's simple and quick. Here's my disclaimer for all those that watch this, is I have no idea what the volume is going to be on this. Hopefully it'll be loud enough you can hear it. I won't know until the stream's over. So if you guys in the comments can't hear it, let me know. I'm going to try to adjust the volume as we listen to this one, but I'll play it several times, guys. And I believe, let me check real quick. I want to see which investigation. Okay, this was from the 2015 investigation, Master Bedroom. So let me play it. And here we go. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? Okay, let me up the volume and play it again. I'm up there by myself, and I don't know if you remember this, Dave. It was after you had your experience where you were like, I got to come back down to base camp, and you experienced some things. So I went.
I'm sure I never said that.
Well, this is me. So I went up there to try to do a mild provoking. And this is the voice we caught. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? So here's the EVP, which is kind of interesting. Do you remember that, Dave?
Yeah, hey, it sounds like it's saying Robert. Could be in the pub.
saying Robert. Let me play the EVP part again. I might be saying Robert.
It's
I
yeah.
hear 2 to 3 words, but that just could be me with pareidolia matrixing on the audio. But so this is from the master bedroom, Dave. This is from an audio right next to the door. I'm the only one up there. You guys did not hear it down on the condenser mic. It only showed up on the audio. I think here's what Bob yeah, we should have sent Bob up there, guys. Because
we tried.
I know what I think I hear.
What do you hear?
Well, you would say it would be like 3 words, but it's more of 1 word and 2 syllables. I think it almost sounds like "go away," but kind of drawn out. Go away.
Carrie, that's fantastic. You said that because up until this broadcast, that's what I thought it said was "go away." Because I know
away.
and I do hear what Dave said, whether Dave was saying it half jokingly, Robert.
Yeah.
I don't hear that at all. I hear I'll find you, Robert, but
I was just jokingly. Corel, I mean, having listened to that in the past, it does sound like "go away," in this gruff old voice.
Well, again, and I don't want to get into it, but it's an interesting voice, and we caught this same voice multiple times, but only by or in the master bedroom. And here's what intrigues me, guys, is so we captured this. I would love to know who this is and what their names are and know the history of this person, because this is a fantastic EVP, guys. It really is. And so I just have to say this. So Dave's up there, he experiences a light orb or something that comes by him. He starts feeling really uneasy and just really uneasy. And he gets to the point where he says down to base camp, "I'm coming back down. I need to come back down." So I go up there and I thought, well, I'm going to provoke a little bit. What would a what would a guy not like? So I went up there and said, "Hey, beautiful, how you doing?" And this is the response: "Go away." So I'm going to play it one more time for the audience because I think it's a great clip. I think it's one of our best clips at the Brewery Lodge. I'm just going to play, I'll play the whole thing, then I'll just play so here we go. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? So let me play the EVP part one more time. So again, guys, I think that's a fantastic clip, and just that alone was worth that one investigation, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Carrie, you go first, and then Dave.
Well, if we're going back here, that the Germans and all them, sorry, dang alarm's going on. If we're going back to that, it could very well be D.H. Davis or one of the original people there. I mean, if you're running a business and that was your life, because the brewery was attached to the front of that. So if that's your business and you're running and going and someone's coming through your house, what would your response be? Go away. Get out of here. So I think it's, to me, it's a gruffy voice, but you're looking at the quality, what we're losing through audio and that, and then you have to throw into consideration back then smokers. So what I guess what I'm trying to say on the voice is, just because it's gruffy and deep, don't think it's something evil, bad, or like what people want to assign to it. I just think it's someone who worked there. Just, it's not your business. Get out of here.
So, okay, thanks, Carrie. Dave, what do you think about this voice? And go ahead.
Coyle, I mean, I agree with Carrie, right? Investigating different countries, different locations, the EVPs are usually in that native dialect for some reason. I don't know why. If there was Europeans there, maybe it is the German or something like that. But I think it might just not, and Carrie raises another good point. It's if you, I mean, some of the EVPs we've captured haven't really been tuned in correctly. And I just wonder, we're assuming that it's a kind of male, gruff, etc. But it might just, we might just not have captured it fully. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned why you were calling an old man beautiful.
Hey, here's in my defense. If I wouldn't have gone up in there and done that, we might never have got his voice saying go away. So hey. No, I agree with all that. I think it's a fantastic EVP. I think it does say go away. And I believe what I said provoked him to say, like, I'm tired of this crap. Get out of here. So go away. That's what my gut feeling is. And so I think it's a great clip. It's one of our best ones from the Brewery Lodge. And this next clip I'm going to play, guys, because we got to speed this up a little bit to get through some of these, because I want to give some examples. This is Dave, you talking about what happened just a few minutes prior to this clip. You're upstairs. And so there's nothing paranormal about this clip necessarily. It's just you describing what took place. And again, to the audience, I don't know if this is going to be loud or soft, or if you have headphones on, be careful because I can't control the volume too well here. So anyway, so Dave, I want you to you kind of already explained this, but if you want to add anything to this clip, please do.
Like a dual golf ball sized fucking thing flew across the top of the door inside that room.
So this you kind of already touched on, Dave, and that was your voice when you were actually still up there. Do you want to add anything to that? I just wanted to show that.
And no, it was just strange. It was a sequence of events, and I thought it was a bird, or like a bat or something, but it was like a dull light. And like I said earlier, I'm not a big orb fan, especially through video and kind of still camera. But when you see that with your eyes, yes, it could be pareidolia or whatever. It could be, that expectation and things like that. But yeah, I was just, because I think it's important to note that on investigations, we always try to communicate what we're seeing or hearing to base camp. Because there could be other recordings and other, especially with the audio in the area, we kind of mark it just in case the audio in the area, because we place audio in different locations, fixed kind of audio. It is also a good marker for that audio as well.
Okay. This next one, I'm not sure if it's going to come through very well. Now, this is 2017. There was no females, and it's interesting. There's sometimes disagreement on male or female on a voice. And it's difficult to tell too if they're younger or have a younger sounding voice, whether it's female or male. But I'm not sure if this is going to come through very well to the audience. And we'll try it though. And so what this is the second floor bathroom. And here we go. Yeah, probably that one probably is not going to come through. Did you hear it at all?
But I know what I'm listening for. You can hear where you've altered it. I
It
think
was very
that's where people will know when to listen.
Okay. Well, I'll just play that part. And the reason I did so I don't know if it's coming through on my computer because I'm playing it locally here. I hear "take care," and to me it sounds like a female, but it could go either way. What do you guys think? Do you hear it at all?
Through this, it's losing.
Yeah.
I hear something, but I honestly, it's kind of a neutral voice. It could go either way for me because it's
Okay.
just not loud enough.
Okay, Dave, what's your opinion?
Yeah, it is fairly neutral chordal. It could be, it could be male or female.
But you both hear a voice, though, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's a voice, and I do believe it's two words. But without headphones and listening to it properly, I can't say whether it's
Okay.
male or female.
Well, here's what we'll do: is I'll play this one more time, and then I'll bring up another one. So again, this was from the bathroom recorder, and we'll stop sharing that one. So go ahead, Dave.
No, it's Bob mentioned that. It sounds like give it the gas, but it like gas at the end. That was me American, by the way. I just wonder if can you play it once more or not?
I can bring it back up.
Real quick, that's interesting because they're talking about how ventilation and how they had to heat the houses in the lodge.
Well, okay, let me bring it back up real quick. I'll bring it back up. Just give me a second. I have to reshare it and stuff. So, and let's see. I have to click.
Yeah, it says right here, Dave, which is interesting, Bob, because it says for lights, candles or coal oil lamps are used, and it goes into things that were used to heat and light the place. So maybe gas was, as what Bob's saying, was some type of fuel. It says the high price of gas. So
Okay, here's the clip again, Dave. Let me. Well, Dave.
Yeah, it's you know what? It probably needs cleaned and amplifier.
Yeah, I didn't have time to do all
bit.
that. Yeah, I didn't have time to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick up. Let me see. So let me play something a little different. I got a couple clips that I quickly selected of some of the different noises we were hearing. So let me and you guys will hold on. it's just I have to go through a bunch of routines to get this to
Well,
share.
So, Dave, going back to what we were talking about, seeing things and following things, I think a lot of times people forget that, at least for me, when you see something, it's that initial, but your brain needs to catch up to break it down as to what it is. So you might see a flash or something, and people will remark what it is, but it's the moments later or in review that your mind is catching up with what you're seeing, and then a lot of it is explained.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kerry, that's a good point. You know, some of the things we've seen, it does seem as if your brain is trying to catch up to understand what it is, and then by then it's gone. You know, and I mean, and I'm sure we'll be discussing it in later kind of YouTube videos, just some of the sightings we've had and what have you. But yeah, that is what happens. It's strange. It is strange.
Okay, this next clip, it's just a noise, and I just wanted to play one or two of these and so I'll just play it, and then Dave, I'd like you to comment on this. And this is from 2017. And I think there's a reason I wanted to play this, because it almost sounds like a dresser drawer or something closing, because the master bedroom, this is from the master bedroom, the dressers had those hinge handles that when you closed them, if you weren't touching the handle, it would give a metal when the dresser drawer closed. And Dave, many times we were down in the kitchen listening, and we were like, that sounds like the dresser, or that sounds. And so I wanted to play this because to me it sounds like somebody pushing a dresser drawer closed. Let me play it one more time, just the noise. And let's see what you guys think. What do you guys think? Dave, you go ahead first, and then Carrie.
Yeah, Coral. You know, we did debunk a lot of, you know, during some of the higher winds there. Oh, sorry. Sorry for that. Yeah, we did debunk a lot of the kind of like a cracking sounds from the twigs and trees and that hitting the windows or the side of the building. But that was really more 2015. Well, we had some winds. I honestly don't know, Cordell. It's just a sound. Yeah, I don't know.
Are we still here?
Oh, sorry. I did a bad. I was muted. Carrie, so what do you think that sound is?
With you saying it could be a dresser, sure, I can hear where it can be, but I'm also take out what you've said and just hearing it on my own. It almost, I mean, to me, it could even be windows, like when someone opens a door and suction and the windows kind of shift, or just a thud. Okay. I mean, there's millions of reasons what it could be. So, but I could say it's a drawer or a closet. But if I were just to hear it without you saying what you think it is,
yeah,
it would just be, as we say, an unknown noise.
Oh yeah, and I agree with that. It's something we can't really say is paranormal now. Well, I will say, out of over 100 hours of audio, I captured this on audio twice. What is Bob saying?
Sounds like a money pouch dropping.
Maybe Cordell's. Oh, geez. Hey, hey, Dave, tell him how to spell my name, please.
Honestly, no. Hey, honestly, Cordell, if you dropped anything, it would hit you on the back of the neck before it fell to the floor. You'd be that fast.
Well, I'll let Bob, just to let you know, my money pouch has nothing but dust and one cat hairball in there, and that's pretty much it. That's all it has, and hasn't had money in it for like 12 years. So just an FYI, Bob. No, I'll play the sound one more time, and I think it's important because, again, sounds are just as important as EVPs, and I guess that's why I wanted to play these, because they can be clues. But just like a lot of evidence, or what we want to be evidence, you kind of got to back it up with more evidence also. And I thought this was an interesting sound because it only occurred 2 or 3 times in 100 hours of audio. And that includes both investigations, 2015 and 2017. And with the reports of anyway, I'll play it one more time. We'll move on. So this is the sound. It is fairly loud. Let me stop sharing that, guys. So Dave, why I set up some more audio, do you have anything else? What else happened to you there? Because you spent a few nights. Oh, and you and Bob slept in the same bed for a little while. So what happened there? No, be careful. Be careful of the details.
Yeah, that's a complete myth. So I remember we carried out an EVP session in the master bedroom. And the plans were to leave Bob in there secretly, while I kind of snuck out into the other bedroom, just to have investigators in each area. It's you know what, I'm trying to remember it wasn't so much. It was mainly that was you could hear kind of, just like when I was sleeping in there, your mind, obviously, if you're sleeping in a haunted room or a reportedly haunted room, or your mind does play tricks. And when you are lying asleep, your mind starts thinking, if I open my eyes, is someone going to be standing there, and things like that. But yeah, nothing really happened when I was sleeping in there at all. In either bedroom, really. It was mainly when we were downstairs in base camp, or monitoring from base camp with investigators on the landing or whatever. You'd always hear a lot of noises in the rooms, but when you were in the room, you never really heard the noises. But yeah, I mean, it did sound like drawers and doors and things being opened and closed. It did sound like someone living in there, but you just never seen anything move. So yeah.
I think also, Dave, when you started this, I was listening. I was trying to get in, and you summed it up too. This is an old house. It's noisy, outside noises. The contamination is really high, and and I think when you're in a room and sleeping, your mind shuts off basically, so you're not going to hear or see things. But yeah, when you're laying there, you're going to hear every sound, or you're going to be seeing what people have reported. So I think you hit it on the head completely with all that, and that's a key thing. There is contamination is in there was just Hi. I have to admit,
Yeah.
Dory and I were up in that room doing EVP sessions and all that because you had us girls go up. I haven't reviewed it yet.
That's okay.
I'm so behind on that. So I haven't even gone through that stuff.
Well, I mean that's okay, Carrie, because the bottom line is if you come up with stuff, we'll have another show then.
Well, no, it just means that might be able, if I was on top of things, I might be able to back up audios and stuff that you caught on the 2015 or other
Yeah.
times I was there. So
Good point. Very good point. I still have probably about 20 hours of CCTV camera to go through down on the first floor. I've gone through all the second floor, didn't really capture anything. And I tried to line up like that noise we just displayed. I went back to the camera that was there and I tried to line up the audio with the point in the CCTV camera. I could not see anything moving. Now that's an older system and the quality isn't that great. So, but anyway, so this one I'm not sure you guys are going to be able to hear either. This is from the second floor bathroom. And if you can't hear it, let me know and we'll move on to another audio because I got tons of them. So here we go. So let me up this and this. I don't know if you hear the voice, but I hear, well, I won't say. There was nobody in the house at the time. And this is from the bathroom. And Dave, what do you hear? What do you think about this?
Yeah, Cordell, I think that could be just something like a house noise or whatever. I don't hear. I mean, I couldn't hear that clearly.
Right.
I can't really comment.
Well, let me up it a little bit and play it one more time. Because I hear again, I hear a and I'll let Carrie jump in, but I hear a female and I hear one word. And I'll just say it, and I know it influences everybody, but I hear what? And I hear a female, but again, I'm probably hearing it 3 times clearer than you guys are because I'm playing it on mine. Carrie, what's your thoughts?
this one, I absolutely hear a female saying what?
That's what I do. Yeah, it's pretty clear to me.
It's definitely
Oh,
a female voice. And it's just one word and it sounds like what?
yeah, and it's interesting. Carrie and Dave, I wanted to play this one. Bob hears what also. Um, these type fascinate me because they're kind of rare when there's nobody in a building. We do occasionally get EVPs, but they're a lot rare. We seem to get more EVPs in interaction when we're there talking to them, which kind of makes sense. But so Carrie and Dave, this is what fascinates me about this. So let's say this is a female saying what. Wouldn't that imply she's talking to somebody else? So she's actually conversing possibly with somebody else. So that's what fascinates me, but we'll never know, right? Your guys' thoughts why I set up another audio.
For me, not necessarily
Yeah,
because
Cordell, I mean,
Well, sorry.
I'll let Dave
Hold
go.
on. Dave, you go ahead first, then Carrie.
yeah, Cordell, I think in terms of the lag, you may have to appoint who's going first.
Yeah, I know. That was
Yeah,
my bad there.
no, yeah, it's like a number of EVPs we've captured or a number of audio recordings we've captured where you leave audio in the area and then when you're kind of away and you come back up, you kind of hear us in the distance coming back and you hear them and you hear that the kind of voices communicating, like saying things like, here they are, let's go, and things like that. So yeah, either it's just something captured from the past, present or future, or whatever it is speaking with someone. Yeah.
Carrie, go
Don't
ahead.
know.
What I was saying in terms of yeah, she could be speaking to someone, but I mean, there's times where I'm doing things or where I'll just say what to myself. It's kind of like, what am I doing or whatever. So it's not, to me, it's not necessarily that she is talking to anybody else. She might just be noticing things or out of placement. And then again, it might be what Dave said. It's, I want to hear a female saying what. It could
Yeah.
just be a normal noise. And that's where you got to go listen to other audios and that. Because we're not going to agree on what's being said or whatever. But I tend to think that if we were to sign, if this was male or female versus the other clip where we couldn't determine, this does side more of a female voice. But it doesn't, I don't necessarily think she's talking to anybody.
Well, and that's my point. That's why I'm curious, because I would love to know. And if she is, what were they talking about? And that's just my own curiosity. And like I said, obviously we'll probably never know. So let's move on to the next clip, because we're running short on time here, and I wanted to get a few more in. So here's the next clip, guys. And again, hopefully you guys will be able to hear it, and we'll see what happens. So let's here we go. So it's right here, and this one's marginal, and I think it's marginal, but I like to show marginal to really good clips, because to differentiate between the two for the audience. This sounds like a human voice or breathing or exhale. And again, this was by the bathroom. And the interesting thing is, we hadn't actually come back yet. We were still out of the house. And it almost sounds like you hear the stairs or somebody walking on the floor, but it could have been building noise. So I'll play just the EVP part. And again, this one's really marginal, but I wanted to show it as an example of the contrast between a good and marginal. And I'll play this part here because there's creaking on the stairs also, or the floor. That sounds like could be walking, but it might not be. So Dave, you go first. What's your thoughts on that one?
Goodall, was that when we were in or out?
We were still out. It was close to 5 p.m. and we weren't there at the time. It was an hour after the last clip. So anyway, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be. I think it gets back to the earlier discussion we had, where sometimes you probably want to hear things. It could be a normal noise. It might not be. I don't know. I think what we, just for the audience as well, the reason why we drop a lot of audio. I mean, we must have had about 14 fixed audio in that area, kind of in different locations, facing different directions. The reason we do that as well is to correlate. In terms of that clip, you got Cordell in the master bedroom. That kind of what appears to be that kind of older, gruff voice. I remember I didn't pick that up at all with the audio I had in that room. And I had mine facing the opposite direction. so we could cover the whole area. So yeah, it's what I need to do is I'm like Carrie. I've got a slight backlog.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, and if you kind of send a timestamp in that, we can very quickly just correlate that. We may have something clearer. We may not.
Right. No, and Carrie brought that up, and that's why we, to the audience, Pulse, in our group, we put out and use tons of audio, and it sometimes takes months for us to go through it. We put out so much audio, but we want everything covered, and as Dave and Carrie has mentioned, we want to be able to correlate, because what sounds like something paranormal on my audio, or go, what the crap's that? Dave or Carrie will listen to theirs and go, oh, that's X, Y, and Z. That's debunked. Yeah, that's what that is. So that's a very good point. Carrie, real quick on the clip. And I don't want to spend too much time in this. I'm going to bring up another one while you talk, Carrie.
Just real quick again, if I set this up and say, like Cordell, this was caught by stairs and all that, and this is a noise that caught, like most people, I'd probably say, oh yeah, that might be footsteps on the stairs or something. If it was just played for me with no intro into what it is, it's just a sound. It's just, to me, it's just a sound. It's, I don't know, just like a normal sound.
Okay. Well, that's what we want. We just want everybody's opinion. And I think this is good. What I like about this is it demonstrates that what appears to be cut and dry might not always be cut and dry. And let me bring this one up. Okay, this one, I don't remember what this one is, guys. This is going to be a surprise to me. I'm going to display. This is what Bob says. Dave, how do you pronounce that?
Shut up. Yeah, it's just like somebody saying shut up.
Oh, okay.
Bob, we call him Bobacora, because he's got that medium touch,
Okay. Anyway, let me play this one. And honestly, guys, I don't remember what this one is, so I'm going to be surprised.
It was a reality show. It was after like Ghost Hunters came out and all that stuff. All that stuff. All that stuff.
So, okay, I remember this one. So Dory's talking. This is 2015. And you'll hear a voice talking over her or going, or something. I don't know.
All that stuff.
Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
What do you guys? Okay, Dave first. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, Cordell. It could be kind of. Yeah, I honestly don't know. It's I think it just needs correlated, and yeah, I wouldn't know what to think of that.
Okay, that's a fair evaluation. Carrie, what's your quick thoughts? And I'm going to try to bring up another.
If it was when I was there, I would say it's me. If it's not, it sounds almost like just like an acknowledgement. But if that was when I was there with her, then it was probably definitely me.
Yeah, I don't think you were there at that point in time on that particular. Yeah, and and then again, this is one of the tough ones. This happens all the time. Somebody, an investigator, will be talking, and all of a sudden you hear this voice that's going underneath the investigator's voice, or vice versa. And it becomes really tough, and it even becomes tougher, guys, when say there's 3 or 4 investigators there and there's a voice underlying. It becomes even harder to go, oh well, that sounds like this investigator or that, because the voices, it's hard to focus in on one voice when they're both talking. So, any other thoughts while I set up? I'm going to try to set up another one. If you guys want to jump in on, I'm not sure which one I should play though. Let's see. Well, let's do. Go ahead. Go ahead and talk, guys.
Yeah, I do think that having a lead into an EVP, whether it's us saying or it's written, I think you can be influenced, like we all fall under this to hear something certain. I think if it's just a cold, like, here it is, no one say anything about it, we're just playing it cold, I think that tends to give more truth to what that investigator hears or assigns to that. There's no other person influencing what's being heard or said. So I kind of like the cold, here it is, what do you hear? Just
first impressions are usually important. So here's another clip. I'll bring it up and hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. This is from 2017. So it's just Dave, Bob, and me. Let's see. So there's there's one voice twice, and I'm going to up it a little bit and play the first instance of the voice. And this is from the second floor. We're down in the living room, the three of us, Dave. Me, you, and Bob are downstairs. This is from a recorder upstairs. Again, this was in the bathroom. And so I'll play the first voice. And then it does it a second time, I think right here. So Dave, what do you think of that? Do you want me to play the whole clip again?
Yeah. No. I think if I was hearing it, if we were listening to that without the context of it being in a reportedly haunted house, right? I would probably think it was just a noise. It could be pipes. It could be, it could be something to do with the heating system or whatever, It could be something to do with the drainage, with the bathroom and that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Corel.
Dave. So here, real quick, my question. So you gave your perspective if you just was like, here's a house and here's a recording from this house. So I want to hear your perspective of the brewery lodge and the sounds that were occurring and what you had heard in relationship to this one.
Yeah, so I could tell you that out of the 9 days and nights, we never heard that sound. So it's a unique sound anyway. It isn't as I mentioned, we spend time acclimatizing, just to kind of listen to the environment, and you start to pick up. You start to pick up kind of different sounds, heating sounds, the house creaking, all that kind of stuff. No, we never heard anything like that.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going all around it.
Cordell.
Dave, you're going all around it.
Hey, it's an unknown sound.
Okay, I'm going to play it one more time, the whole clip, and then I'll let Carrie jump in And we're gonna have to wrap up here, guys. But I want to play one more. Well, maybe we won't, because we can always have another broadcast and play some more clips. But I literally, we have currently about 60 clips, and we've only played a couple. But so here's the whole thing again, and then I'll let Carrie jump in and give her impression of it. So, okay, Carrie, you're up.
Okay, again, like Dave said, with just hearing it, yeah, I think it could just be a normal noise. With knowing reports and stuff that has been there, then I tend to think I hear why not, and then what, or why not, why. But like Dave said, if I didn't know anything about this place, I'd probably be like, it's just a noise.
Yeah, and we got to wrap up here, guys, because we went a little long, and this is what happens when you don't script and chart out your live broadcast, and which we don't want to do. We want this to be spontaneous. And Dave is going to be right back. He had to take a phone call for work. It's what happens on a live broadcast too. So, Carrie, I agree 100%. You actually took all the words right out of my mouth. What you hear when you look at it in the scope of what we experience there, what we know of the house, the noises and everything, I would say that's a voice, and I hear what you think you heard. I concur totally. And this is the challenge, and this is why it's so critical, Carrie, why Dave's gone. So it's just me and you right now. You really need to go to a location multiple times. You got to get familiar with it. You got to understand the building noises, the surroundings, not just interior, but the exterior. What are the neighbors, and what are the noises in the street, and everything. And so, because that will help you, I think, define what you capture, and at least give you a better footing to judge what you capture. And um, so I agree on this one, Carrie. And Robert, sorry, I keep saying Robert. Bob just put his up on there.
Real quick, this to me does sound like a why not and what, but it almost, what I'm seeing or hearing, I almost envision that he's like watching you guys, and this is almost in response as to what you guys are talking or saying about, versus the female saying what. This I can definitely, if this is a legit EVP, I can definitely say or feel like this is maybe one of the brewers just responding to you guys, not necessarily talking to you, but knows you guys are there. So why not, and what is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and that's a very Carrie, honestly, I couldn't have said it better, because that's my feeling on it. That, and we captured multiple audio where we're downstairs and you can hear our voices downstairs, and then next to the audio there'll be one or two words spoken, and it sounds like they're responding to us or making a comment on what they're hearing. And I think this, so I agree with you. I think this might be a good example of that somebody's literally like, uh, just like you would, if you were hiding upstairs, and you might be saying to yourself, well, that's not right. Or you might chuckle at something you hear somebody on the first floor say, So anyway, that's my thought. So I think
real quick, because I think this is something we should address on another day too. I like this clip, and one of the reasons I like this clip is because if you're listening to you, Bob, and all that, you guys are very animated on what you're saying. it's drawing an attention. So when you're hearing that almost words that are louder or animated, I think that's why you're getting that response.
Hey, Carrie, I think that was well said. I think that's a very good point. And this is something I think is important, that when you do get an EVP, the context of what's occurring out beyond the EVP, and that you just summed it up, is two investigators talking 2 rooms down, or on a different floor or something. Are they hearing that? And what is being said and what is being responded to. So anyway, I agree with you, and I kind of really like this EVP too, because it says one thing. You hear us talking, we're saying something, then there's appears to be another response. And that's why I like it, because it's not just one response where. And unfortunately, Carrie, this is also an example of, we get a lot of EVPs like this. The consensus is their voices, but they're not crystal clear. They tend to be low frequency, almost whispering, and they become marginal, right? Because they're not that crisp, clear voice. And that's what makes it tough. It makes it really, really hard at times with these.
I agree, it's the same voice. And again, I think this is something we come back to again because of the way you guys are talking to each other. Your voices, again, are animated. And in a way, this response is somewhat animated too. It's not just a flat what.
Right.
It's like, what? Why? So there's definitely something into play as that response. So I really do like this clip. Like we always say, is it 100? No, because we don't know. But I'd like to go back to this type of clip and really break it down as to what you guys might be talking about and to what this is responsive.
No, I agree, and that's what you have to do, and I think this also emphasizes the point, Carrie. Well, for me, it does, that paranormal investigating isn't just going and spending a night in a place and going, oh, I heard a disembodied voice, or I heard this, or something ran at me, or I saw this shape in the distance. It's actually collecting all that data, then potentially spending weeks, if not months, trying to correlate everything and try to debunk and try to verify. And not only that, but going, okay, we captured a voice. Well, what is it? What's the reference point? What's the context? Are they responding to us? Are they just making a comment that we can't put to a context? It's actually doing a lot of work at times, and I think you summed it up. So.
Well, yeah, it's like when we're possibly the female, what you think is being what, it's just what. This has volume, just tone is, it's up, and that's just, yeah, so I think this one's probably a good one. I really do.
No, I like it. It's and we have several, and like I said, guys, we have to wrap it up. And Dave, I was hoping Dave would jump back on to say his good night, or yeah, good nights for him. Us, it's good afternoon, I guess, for me and Carrie. But there's Dave. Good timing, Dave. Dave, we're gonna wrap it up. We're about 20 minutes over our normal broadcast length, but that's okay. I don't mind going extra when we're breaking down an investigation. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to present you guys with your summary. I want each of you to summarize the Brewery Lodge. And I want the audience to know we can revisit this. We got tons more evidence. We got some great clips that I didn't play. I wanted to get a slice of the Brewery Lodge. I wanted to play a couple of the noises. I wanted to play good EVPs versus marginal, different locations. I tried to do that. We ran out of time. But we had a lot of experiences there, 2 investigations. I'm going to let Carrie speak first, and then me and Dave will speak. So, Carrie, you didn't spend quite as much time as I know you would have liked to. You were there 2015. You did some experiments. We didn't even touch base on the bed, you and Dory, about one of the claims is when women sleep in the middle room on the second floor, they get the covers pulled and stuff, and stuff happens. We didn't even touch base on that. So with the time you spent there, Carrie, and what you know about it, how would you sum it up? Would you say this is an active place? Would you go back? What's your overall feeling of the Brewery Lodge at Gold Hill?
If I took all this other stuff out and went in, I would probably say, hey, this is an old place. It's got a vibe to it. There's these noises. But knowing history and events and then hearing stories and all that, it kind of leads you into thinking, yeah, maybe this place is active. I'm just going to keep it really short. I think there are things there. No, I don't think it is as much as what other people want it to be. But I think there's something there. To what level? I don't know. It could be one day differs from the next, but I do not think it's the hype like the shows are doing.
Okay. Dave, thank you, Carrie. Very good summary. Dave, what's your summary and gut feeling of the Brewery Lodge? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I haven't seen any shows on it. I think, I think because we spent a lot of time establishing a kind of a baseline, trying to sterilize it, trying to understand the environment, and trying to eliminate a lot of the sounds we're hearing, internal and external. I think there is a part of it which was unexplainable. Now, paranormal or not, is up to the kind of the individual, I suppose. But I'm not one for flights of fancy. I've been investigating for a long time. And what I encountered on that landing was very different to what I've experienced before. So there's definitely some activity there which can't be explained through the way that we were kind of measuring the environment. I think it's I think that the Brewery Lodge was vastly different to the Miners Cabin, for example, that we covered last week. And I think, in terms of these discussions, I think it is good for any other paranormal groups out there to kind of use this as just kind of source material for what's another group has encountered there. Different people will encounter different things. Individuals are all different. But yeah, I can only comment upon what I saw and heard throughout those nine days, and some of that we couldn't explain.
Okay, great. I'll summarize my opinion here. I would go back in a heartbeat. I really liked it. We experience, as we do in most locations, these small, intense bursts of activity. Second floor seems to be the most active. That's where we experienced the most. There was some intense times on the second floor. I think it's active. I agree with both Dave and Carrie. It's not the most active place we've ever investigated. I would give it, if I was going to rate it, I would give it a probably a 6.5 out of 10. And I'm
Hmm.
gonna wait, no, wait, stop. I'm gonna I'm gonna give I'm gonna let you guys rate it. So just relax. So think about your rating at 1 out of 10, 10 being the best. As far as activity, I'd give it a 6.5. As far as activity on the paranormal side, we have tons of evidence on it. It's without a doubt, in my opinion, active. I would go back anytime and gladly stay there. So, but we also want the audience to make up their mind too. But so, Carrie, 1 out of 10, as far as paranormal activity, what would you rate it?
Just for the brewery house, and you're just talking about inside the house, not the
Yeah.
landing or any the yard. 6.
Okay, Dave, what's your rating?
Yeah, I would give it a 6. Just because some of the personal kind of some of the kind of the things I kind of personally witnessed there. I know it's always difficult for when there's a personal experience rather than a recordable experience. But yeah, I would rate it a 6.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. Well, look, we're way over schedule, but that's okay. That's okay to go over. I enjoyed this broadcast. I hope those that listen, and I really appreciate Dave taking his evening out, because it's evening or nighttime in Scotland, because you're 7 hours ahead of us, to spend time. Carrie, thank you so much. We had an investigation last night. Me and Carrie both are pretty tired, but we had a good time last night. And I had a good time today. And I want to thank you for showing up and being here with us. It was great. And I want to thank Robert, as he's known on the internet, but we know him as Bob. And Emma was on here. So thanks, Emma. Appreciate it. And all those else that are going to view this. And I'm going to go around the room. We'll let Carrie say her farewells until next Sunday. And we have many more investigations. And if you guys want more info on the Brewery Lodge, let us know. We can revisit this anytime. We have tons of evidence, and we're going to be displaying evidence from this place in the future. So, Carrie, say your good afternoons to everybody, and as we end the broadcast. So, go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, Dave, always love having you. Can't be here, but be here. And it was great having Bob chime in. Yeah, you need to get Bob in next week. I'll gladly step out to make sure he can get in. But yeah, great play. I go every year, so. But thanks for letting me come in, and love you guys. And I'll just sign out.
Okay, Carrie, thank you. And we can have Bob on and you, Carrie. So, thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Carrie. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Dave, you're up.
Oh, hey, just obviously, I'm enjoying these kind of sessions, just discussions, completely unprepared as we offer them. But I think it makes it a bit more real, you know. So yeah, it's happy to share everything we've investigated, and please, everyone, just make up. I think you always just make up your own minds on things. All we're doing is providing you with some source material to kind of take, or not. I mean, it's up to the it's up to the audience.
Okay, and hang on, Dave. Very well said. And I'll say my goodbye, but I agree with you, Dave. We want you guys, if you guys disagree with us on anything we present, that's fine. All we can do is give you the data we collected. And granted, we'll have stories. Dave has some, like he said, stories, but we don't have it recorded. but it's up to the you guys to make up your own mind. We would never, and we're fine, Dave. I think you would agree. If somebody disagrees with us, says, "Oh, that's a bunch of crap," that's fine. It is what it is, right? We can only give you what we have and give you our opinion. But we'll revisit this again because we have so much evidence, Dave. We might have to do another whole show on the Brewery Lodge. We haven't even scratched the surface on the stuff that we have sitting in our vaults. And next week, we'll
Yeah.
maybe 10 minutes before broadcast next Sunday, we'll come up with another investigation and scramble and try to get something on. But again, thank you to the audience. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. If you dislike it, hit that too. I'm fine. So anyway, good night, Dave, and good night to everybody out there. And we'll see you next Sunday. Hey, good night. See you, Dave. See you, everybody. See you, Bob.
See you, buddy.
Bye.